New York's classic rock, Q1043.
I never know when I walk out into the hallway who I'm going to see, wandering around at our iHeartRadio headquarters here in New York City, because so many famous people visit here. I've been embarrassed before because I've been on the elevator and then held the door open on our floor for somebody that I later found out was like a big major star, and I just didn't know.
Yeah, right on.
Because there's just so many people and, so many different types of artists. And I walked out of our studio, our Q104.3 studio, and there's Gavin DeGraw. And I asked him if he'd spend a few minutes with us this morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning. Nice to see you today.
You are an extraordinarily successful performer with New York roots.
I've been lucky.
But you were from upstate.
Yep.
You went to Ithaca.
Yep.
You were on the Ithaca side, not the Cornell side.
That's right. Well, I was there for only half a semester.
Yeah, but
really.
You were there, and I know that there's, the gorge kind of separates people.
No doubt about it. No doubt about that.
And then Berklee College of Music.
Yep.
That's some high prestige stuff.
Apparently, I was only there again for like 2 semesters. Yeah. College never really,
And then you probably said to yourself, well, jazz theory is really not where I want to go right now. I want to get on the stage and play my music.
Well, that's a lot of it, yeah, for sure. My issue with the school element was that I felt like the thing that was magical about music is that I didn't know what I was doing, and then turning the sounds of music into these math equations really started bumming me out,
Right.
I hate math.
So do I. So does everyone, except our producer, Trevor, who's good at math, but he can't spell. But you've had a lot of hits. You've had a very successful career.
I've been lucky.
And you played in bands with your friends when you were you were young.
Absolutely. And my brother and I played together as teenagers, and our father, our father's a musician, and he's a professional musician. Not famous musician, but a professional musician.
Well, didn't you name a band after his band?
We did, yeah. He had a band called the People's Band when he was a young guy, and we were like, we heard so many stories about it that we named our own band when we were teenagers. The same thing.
But that must have made him feel fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, he was smiling ear to ear. Plus, it gave him an excuse to go out and drink on weeknights when we were playing shows. He was like, "Cool, I go out on Tuesday and hammer some beers with the kids."
What did he play?
He was a great singer, actually. My dad. He had a really natural Irish tenor sort of sound, high and clean, like a McCartney or a Sting type of thing. Very, very pretty voice. And he played guitar, electric guitar.
Well, you've got that nice, typical New York background, Irish and Russian Jewish.
Yeah, I got a real mix, man. Yeah, for sure.
And it's the New Year.
Yeah,
it's 5785.
That's right.
Happy
New Year.
It's 5785.
Happy New Year, bro.
Tonight we're gonna party like it's 5799. Didn't Prince's song come out in 85? In 1985 for 1999?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ahead of the curve for sure.
So we're going to get into the special event that's taking place here in New York, which you must be very excited about in just a moment.
Sure.
But you still have a bar and restaurant in Nashville, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My brother and I, we got in the restaurant biz years and years ago. We started one here in New York, and then
I know, and there was an unfortunate incident surrounding that.
Oh yeah. And then we opened one in Nashville, and it's really, really grown.
And it's called?
It's called the Nashville Underground, and we're on Broadway. We're the largest bar on Broadway, actually.
In 1967, on RCA Records, one of the great country albums of all time was released by Jerry Reed, and the title of it was Nashville Underground.
It's funny you say that because my brother has that exact album cover on his wall.
Really?
That's exactly right.
Because that's a great album.
That's exactly. In fact, my I believe my mother is buried right next to Jerry Reed. Yeah, and we're big Jerry Reed fans. She got the gold mine. I got the shaft.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff. But Nashville has always been a tourist attraction. I mean, I visited there for the first time when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
But it has mushroomed into this scene. I mean, it's like the bachelorette party capital of the universe.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
It erupted. It is a nuclear mushroom cloud of festivities, and it's crazy.
and it's always been since before either of us were born, and I'm a lot older than you. It's been, you know, Music City, USA, since the 1930s.
That's right.
And you're signed to Sony Nashville.
I am. Yeah, exactly.
It seems to me, and this has been true for a long time now, as the music industry has gone through so many different changes, some of them rather tumultuous, that the Nashville branches of the record labels have seemed to have found a way to keep things going really well, to still spend time on artist development and actually selling actual records.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Nashville is still, even though the city's grown a lot, there's still a large community of musicians, and music makers and producers and executives who live in proximity to each other and make it a point to know each other and spend time together.
And there's still a billion studios there.
There's a billion studios, and they really do intermingle in a natural way. It's not as if, oh, the musicians go hang out over there in their corner, and the executives go, you know, dine over there in their corner. Everybody really is in close proximity, and they make it a point to keep it feeling like a community. And I think that's a big part of it. It's sort of the lifeblood of why that the industry works so well out of Nashville, Tennessee. And there's a lot of live musicians there, a lot of studio musicians there, and capable hands. You know,
but I mean, like in New York, in New York and L.A., there are hardly any recording studios left.
No, you're right.
You know, I mean,
you're right.
Record labels are putting out things that people are making at home on their iPads, and
absolutely,
you know, that got some attention on TikTok. And Nashville seems to have. I mean, even songwriters.
Sure.
They sign songwriters to contracts there in Nashville.
Sure.
You know, and give them a stipend so they can live while they're trying to write their first hit.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the developmental element of playing music and putting records out, supporting artists, the developmental element of that is mostly gone from the business, as you know.
Right.
But in some ways, I feel like there's elements of that are just a new version of what was anyway, because it used to be oftentimes no one was really interested in you unless you had a live following. And you had proof that what you were doing on the street was working, and people would show up, and A&R may show up and go, you know, I may not know anything about these songs, but whatever this person's doing out here in the real world is speaking to people, or whatever thing they have going on stage, some weird connection that you can't put your finger on, is recruiting people to all gather. And, you know, a lot of times you get signed on that kind of thing. I was getting signed kind of maybe on that kind of thing years ago. And so they're waiting to see what's working a little bit, at least in the real world. And these days, the real world is what us adults call virtual reality, which is online stuff, you know. And we're like, well, that's weird. That's not real. But to this new generation of listeners and artists, that is the real world to them.
Well, you and your fans are celebrating the 20th anniversary of your album Chariot.
Yeah, man.
And you have
unbelievably.
You have redone this album, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, recut the whole thing and
added some new material as well.
For sure. Oh yeah.
And there's going to be a big celebration on Monday at the Empire State Building.
Oh yeah.
Now think of that, Gavin. The Empire State Building, New York City. That big, iconic, you know, known by everyone in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Building, and you're going to be up there for the iHeartRadio album release party.
I didn't tell you how I was getting to the top, though. I'm going to put on a gorilla suit and climb the walls. Outside. I'm going to climb the building wearing a King Kong.
You're going to do that
outfit? No, of course not.
I know.
I don't have the grip strength.
But there are some people who could do that.
Maybe with my right hand I have the grip strength.
No, but I mean, the fact of the matter is this is a very big deal. I mean, I had an event at the Empire State Building last March, and it was just so exciting just to be there and
epic building, right?
You know, in the life of that building.
Sure.
And I was also there once over the past year with John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
flip the switch and light the building up at night. I mean,
Cool.
it's just awesome. And you're
Absolutely.
having a big event there.
Yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to it too. It's I think a great way to celebrate putting the record out and spending time with some people in the music biz and people who've been good to me here at iHeart. This particular company's been very good to me over the years. We've got a lot of relationships here, and it's nice that they didn't forget about me.
Forget about you. They're
Yeah.
celebrating you.
Yeah, man. I feel blessed, man, for sure.
And since you're here with
Really
us
do.
on New York's classic rock, Q104.3, who are among your favorite classic rock artists?
Well, funny enough, you mentioned one of my favorites, which is Bob Seger. So I know you're a Detroit guy.
Yeah.
We were talking about that a little bit before. I have a very specific memory of Bob Seger. I have a very specific teenage memory listening to Bob Seger. And I was driving. I was 16 years old. I had an old Nissan Sentra, little stick. Not the sexiest car you ever saw. And but I had this little stick Nissan Sentra, and it was a beautiful late spring day. And I had the windows down, the kind you had to roll down
Yeah, sure.
by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cruising about 70 miles an hour on the state road on the most beautiful day. And I had a cassette tape of Against the Wind. And it was just, to me, that's still a very important youthful memory for me, listening to music, because I remember it felt so good. I was living the moment and living the song, right? Listening to the song as you're driving with your windows down on a beautiful day.
It's still one of the best ways to experience music.
Oh, man.
Because it imprints a memory on your mind
Totally.
that stays with you forever.
Absolutely. It was a multi-sensory thing, So the Seger records, I think, were just made so well. In fact, that's one of the reasons I like recutting this record is there's an element of that 1970s songwriter style record about the Chariot 20 record. Same thing with Face the River record that I made. It's got a real classic sound, which made me kind of brought new life to the music. And it was a type of recording that made me want to recut new songs and go, how about this treatment on these other songs? And it made me feel really, really good, like you can make a classic sounding record again, even right now. I think Dave Cobb did a great job bringing that to life. But so many classic records, I prefer baby boomer rock, really, and psych rock, psychedelic rock. I grew up about 25 minutes from the original Woodstock site. My parents went to Woodstock together in 1969. My father went there with his draft card for the Vietnam War in his back pocket. I lost my cherry in the same field, my friend. So anyway, I'm just trying to be real here. Anyway, so there's a lot of psychedelic rock and Motown, and then a lot of 70s stuff, really, a lot of 70s recordings.
Right.
Billy Joel, Elton John, some 80s, some early 90s, Tom Petty.
Yeah, sure.
Just the great songwriters.
Well, Gavin DeGraw, thank you so much. Congratulations on
Thank you.
On the release,
Thanks, Jim.
the
I
20th
appreciate it, man.
the 20th anniversary release.
Yeah, man.
And of course the big event at the Empire State Building on Monday. Thanks for taking the time to visit with us. I know we just grabbed you in the
Thanks
hallway.
for having me, man.
You know,
man, you made my day.
But
Appreciate
thanks
it.
a lot.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.